Thank you, Monica. So, hello, YouTube people. In the video you're about to see, I said that Richard Harriman asked via email, and the fact of the matter is, he did not. Although he did email me, but about something else. The person who asked me was James Maddox. So I apologize, Mr. Maddox. I've just been inundated with electronic mail, and I beg your forgiveness. So enjoy, question mark. Now we're live.
Oh. Okay.
You see how luxurious this mane is getting?
Yes.
I almost trimmed it today. You also look luxurious, but not because of your mane. Okay, so it's Sunday evening. It's just after 6 p.m. I am IBB, and you are the BB. You are the BB. Yes. Thank you for clarifying. I am not driving back to Texas tonight because leaving at 3 a.m. from Oklahoma seems to be my new thing. I know! Very passionate. So Richard Harriman emailed and was like, you know, you have a lot of videos on a lot of things. You've talked about coming out of her. Oh, look at this. Perfect. Come out of her, my people. Lest you
showing the YouTubers your,
my chest.
Yeah.
My beautiful, luxurious chest that the mane flows into.
Your pectoralis.
My pectoralis major. Good job.
Hey, I did take anatomy.
You did take anatomy. We are ignoring the baby.
Three times.
3 times. What? Are there moos over there? No? No moos.
Where'd they go?
So Richard Harriman was like, you've talked a lot of trash on the internet about a lot of things. You've never explained your come out of her my people story. So we're going to attempt to do that now. This is real life, so this one here is probably going to intervene, but we will try. So for a long period of time, we lived in North Texas, and for 7 years we lived in North Texas.
Yeah.
Which, other than upstate New York, is the longest I've stayed in one place ever. What about you?
Yeah.
Yeah, same?
Yeah.
Okay. And
It wasn't all bad.
no,
Like,
the town that we lived in North Texas
It
was
quiet and quaint and
a cute little town of 7,000 people.
right.
And a large landmass.
Yes.
So,
Lots of cow fields and
grain bins on the train tracks, and just the old ice house off of the square. And, the square was done in 1900 and something, and, brick road on the square. Just a cool little town. Well, the problem with that was the cool little town is, an hour north of Dallas. And because Dallas and Texas in general is an economic powerhouse, people just keep moving there.
right. Didn't help Toyota came.
Yeah, I mean, we're happy to have you, Toyota, but yes, baby.
All your people's moving in my town.
Yeah, it was a problem. And
Not so happy about.
yes, honey. Away? No, we're not going that way.
So
We're going this way. So,
yeah, it grew.
it
Grew a lot.
substantially.
Yes, and
Yeah.
there, you got that mixed
Yes,
media.
yes, baby.
Whoa, close up DeVille.
Sorry, I'm looking at the baby. Close up DeVille. That's a thing.
So, anyways, it got people. They loved the town we were in because it was so cute and quaint, but yet they bitched about not having, well, the closest Walmart is 30 minutes away.
Right.
And, I've got to go all the way into Frisco or McKinney to go to this place, to go shopping or whatever. It's like, that's what makes Salina so great.
Well, you just blew all of our OPSEC. Salina, Texas. There you go.
But
Go.
that's what made it so great, was that you didn't have all that crap. You didn't have all the traffic from it. You didn't have all the chaos that came with it.
Bad traffic was a tractor pulling a disc harrow down the 2-lane highway.
Right.
That was bad traffic.
Yeah.
7 years ago.
We had one stoplight.
Yeah, we had one stoplight. And it started as a blinking light. It wasn't even a stoplight. Yeah. And so, anyway, fast forward. Oh my goodness! Are you an internet superstar?
No.
Yes. Okay. Fast forward 7 years.
Right. We had been talking to Grandma about us wanting land and starting a homestead, and Grandma was like, I would really love to have that again. She had land when she was young. My great-granddaddy had a farm, and they ended up selling that so they could move closer to town. So she really wanted to have a farm, homestead, acreage, before the end of her time.
Yeah, before she goes home to meet her maker.
Right. And so, and with that, you know, she's older. So, you know, for her to live in a place that requires the need that a homestead does, she can't do it all. So,
yeah, I just spent 4 hours mowing.
Right.
For this many mowing.
And so, you know, us wanting it and her wanting it, we're like, why don't we do this together? And she took care of my great-granny and my great-granddaddy when I was younger and helped raise me. And that was basically one of my great-granny's, like, last requests was that I be the one that's there for my grandma.
Okay, you're getting all bleary. Good
job.
job. You focus on the road. So the point is, good job, honey.
Thanks.
Good job. So Harmony and Grandma. Oh my gosh, it's just a shoe. You want it on or off? This is totally real life.
Yeah.
There we go. So Harmony and Grandma are like this, and so Harmony wanted to be in a position to help take care of Grandma as Grandma got older. So Grandma lived about 35 minutes away from us, and she was getting into her 80s, and you know, she's got all of her mental compunction. Ticker still works. You know, she's all there. She's a phenomenal human being. But who wants to spend, you know, 166 hours a week alone and then 2 hours a week with people that you love? So that was a contributing factor. So we knew that we wanted 3 things on our land: a change in elevation, mature trees, and water. And then as Grandma, it became apparent that, you know, Harmony was deeply convicted that Grandma's, you know, the end of Grandma's temporal life was going to be spent with us, whether that's 2 years, 10 years, or 20 years. And so we just knew we had to find room for Grandma as well. So that added a 4th thing that we were looking for, and then 5th, we had to be able to afford it. So we prayed over land for, no lie, 3 years. Prayed over land. And we talked to Grandma, and you know, Grandma subscribes to Mother Earth News, and so we clipped articles and we looked at stuff, and I heard Pastor Joe say 146 times, "Come out of her, my people," and every time it was like, all right, y'all, like, I'm here, man. I'm doing everything I can do. Like, I'm trying to be a good, and this is an important thing. Our Texas house was 1/3 of an acre. And do you remember this conversation? I was like, look, if we can't be a good steward of this 1/3 of an acre, how are we going to be a good steward how could we be trusted by the Father with a larger piece of land? So we went like all the way on that 1/3 of an acre. We started producing as much food as possible on that 1/3 of an acre. I mean, chickens, meat rabbits, garden, composting. I mean, I hauled 10 tons of sheep crap that got dumped out of a straight truck in our driveway with a shovel and a wheelbarrow to the back to start our compost pile, raised beds, the whole nine. And that was my conviction was, if we can't be a good steward of this, how's the Father ever going to trust us with more? And so we did the best that we could with what we had, where we were at on that third of an acre, knowing that we wanted more, and we beseeched the Father in prayer daily. Please just let us be worthy of the blessing of land. Make something happen for us. And there were 2 different properties in in Arkansas. Arkansas is a beautiful state. It's filled with excellent people. Yeah. And we just felt like, and this is the important thing, we felt, feelings aren't always correct. We felt like Arkansas was where we were supposed to be. And so we kept looking in Arkansas, and the caveat was, I was not in a position to, not that I couldn't walk away from Vine and Branches where I work, but I didn't want to. I don't feel comfortable leaving my brother in Christ high and dry.
So we needed to be within reasonable driving distance.
Reasonable drive, not daily commute, but weekly commute.
Right. And we knew going into this that was how it was going to work, which was a sacrifice.
All around.
Yeah. Because prior to this, I think total over 7 years,
a couple of weeks,
been apart for a couple of weeks, and other than that, we were together 24/7, which is a total test of your relationship. If you can work, eat, breathe, sleep.
Yeah, but
your
we got a lot of stuff done too.
Yeah,
we ran a business together.
Yeah.
We lived it. We were up in it, and we needed that because that's how we built our foundation together. Was constancy. Moo. Are there moo-moos of it? There is a moo. Look.
So.
Hold on. There's a moo-moo. There it is. Go ahead. So constancy.
Constancy?
Yes. Not to be confused with constipation or incontinence. Okay. We were together all the time.
Right. So going into this, that's a whole nother thing. It's really easy to say, oh yeah, I can be without you for 4 days. That's no problem. Yep. I've got this. Yeah, the reality is, it's not at all what I was thinking I could do. Yep. I was used to primarily, you take for granted the help that you have.
Oh.
Being a mom, it's I do all this stuff anyways. So if T's not here, it's not that big of a deal. I'm just going to be doing it anyways. But yeah, he's a huge help at home.
Thanks, baby. This is unscripted. Y'all heard her. I actually do things.
Yeah. Mostly the butt whoopings. No. We do spank our kids when they need it. But
when they need it and deserve it.
Yeah, they've got to do something really bad. Yeah. So, anyways. So that was a huge, huge challenge. And so, yes, we were looking within a certain radius from where we were, because we knew TJ was going to have to commute in order for us to make this happen. And part of that radius was basically the west side of Arkansas, which we found 2 houses that we absolutely loved. They were gorgeous, picturesque settings.
One even came with a donkey. And I wanted to buy it because I so badly wanted to say, because it was a super sweet donkey, and to this day, I wanted to be able to say, Grandma, you have a nice ass. Just in fooling. I know, but the point stands. Yeah. That was my selling point on that property. Continue.
So I mean, both of these houses in Arkansas, we put in offers. Those offers were, one of them was accepted. The other one we went back and forth, and we never could come to terms on a price, which it was kind of out of our budget. Anyways, we were just crossing our fingers that maybe he would make it happen.
Yeah.
But anyway, so those kind of fizzled out.
And there was a lull. We were kind of disheartened for a while.
And because Grandma had sold her house and moved out of her house. And so we really felt kind of the pressure of, okay, like, we need this to happen now. And so I kept looking, and I found, quite a bit of other properties that were 4.5, 5 hours away. And, me and T talked, and it's like, we really, that's the edge. That's gonna mean where we have to do something else job-wise. And are we really prepared to do that? And we decided we weren't. So I said, okay, well, I know we've driven through East Oklahoma before.
Foothills of the Ouachita Mountains.
And it's really pretty.
Yep.
And it's close to Arkansas. Look.
I'm looking. What are we looking at? Go ahead.
So I started looking in East Oklahoma and came across a property that yeah, she's ready.
Yep, she's ready.
I'll hold
Go
it.
ahead. You hold it.
So we came across a property in East Oklahoma that had everything. Like, it had 2 houses on it that were bigger than anything else we had looked at. It had more acreage than anything else we had looked at. It had 2 creeks, not 1.
3.
3.
There's the one behind Grandma's house.
Oh yeah,
too.
3 creeks. And so me and Grandma went to go look at it, and she liked it, and me and TJ and the kids went and looked at it, and we all liked it. The houses needed work, but having been contractors and done our fair share of that kind of work,
all of it,
it wasn't anything that we couldn't do.
It's why I will not pour concrete ever again. I've got over 1 million yards of concrete in the ground, and everybody's like, I know you're the concrete guy. Will you just do a little bit of... No. I will not. I have to be in love with you to even consider it. I will not do it. I'm over it. So yeah, we've done all of it.
Yeah.
So...
And it wasn't major stuff. Just
you talk
little things.
You talk to the phone, I'll talk to her.
It needs a bathroom, that sort of stuff.
But
so,
all the bathroom stuff's already there.
Yeah.
It's
but
already
yeah, all
there.
the expense
the
of
dude
buying
bought
all
the
this stuff.
materials. He was pushing 70 and he ran out of gas in the tank.
Yeah.
And that's what I've talked about in videos before, the stewardship of this property, where they met us and they were literally in tears. Like, fast forward, we came to terms.
Right.
And there's some really interesting backstory there. But there's also a baby right here, so we're going to have to do some interplay. But they were literally in tears, like, we could not find better people to take over the stewardship of this land. And I told them, 3 times. I told them we couldn't have asked for anybody to be better stewards of the land.
Right.
And it was a financial transaction, but we inherited the heritage of that place.
Yeah, it was a family property.
Get your butt off the internet. Turn and sit. There we go.
That was very emotional for them to leave. So it was...
but we also told them they're welcome back anytime.
Right.
Just let us know.
Yeah.
And in fact, they had one son who was in college who wasn't able to be there. And they said after he graduates, is it okay if he just comes back in the fall and just walks the property?
No, you can't.
Yes, it's okay.
No beeping.
No beep beep. So, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't know. I lost my train of thought.
Transaction, family, stewardship.
Oh, yes. Yeah. So it happened, and there were some, we had some hiccups. Oklahoma closings are a little bit different than other states, so it took a little bit longer. But in that, we'd asked him, because the house that grandma would live in, grandmama, it was vacant because that was his previous parents' home. So we had asked him if we could go ahead and start moving her in, so that way we didn't have to pay more storage and all of that, and they agreed. So it allowed us to get in and kind of check everything out and all that stuff before we moved into our house.
You were a wood chopping maniac.
Oh yeah, because it was winter time.
And there was no firewood.
So
isn't
there.
it so cool that somebody made you a bag?
Yeah.
With a big old knife.
And so the primary heat source of that house is a wood stove that's located centrally in the home. And but yeah, we had no firewood, so I was out in the woods with, I don't know, what's that knife called?
Ontario Knife Company RTAC 2.
Right.
It's a big knife. It's about this big. Yeah.
Heavy knife. And so I was out there in the woods chopping little, or not little, I mean probably
4 inch-ish
4 or 5 inch diameter stuff every day, just so we could have some wood until T came back home with his chainsaw.
And I brought you a load of firewood too.
And a load of firewood, yeah, because we had plenty of firewood in Salina.
Because people pay me to cut trees sometimes.
Yeah. So that was fun, but it was a nice workout because the first day my arm was really
Well, that's
sore.
why you got sweet guns, baby.
I know.
Sweet guns and sweet buns. She's a keeper.
But yeah, second, third, fourth day, it was a breeze.
Touch the shifter.
And my girl was like, I can't believe you're out there chopping wood with that big old knife.
Oh, Hammond girl,
I know.
you're so crazy.
We so warm. That fire's so nice
We're on
and toasty.
so many tangents here.
I
So
know.
the point is, we prayed over a piece of land for 3 years before we found a piece of land that met our criteria.
Right.
And a piece of land that we had grown our skill sets enough to be good stewards of. And I think it's important to foot stomp that.
Yeah.
And while we prayed over a piece of land for 3 years,
Yeah.
in a dynamic situation, constantly during that 3 years, this one came about too.
Right.
So our criteria changed as well.
Yeah.
And so we went from a family of 4 to a family of 5, and then grandma, and then all these things, and the company that we were with grew, and now Harmony's working remotely from home. So it was a dynamic situation that we prayed over daily for 3 years because of the conviction that we had that we need to just come out of her, my people. Which is why I'm wearing this shirt. I'm glad that Pastor Joe has this shirt, but more than that, it's a bone deep conviction that, life was created in a garden. It's best lived out there in the wilderness where things grow.
Well, and it's good to note that, because we prayed pretty openly.
Yeah.
We had our things that we wanted, but
Oh, baby, no.
we weren't so
We weren't very
specific
picky.
in our prayers because, and it's not at all what we were thinking.
That's correct, yeah. That's an excellent point.
And so I think you have to keep yourself open to all the possibilities. Because if you had asked me whenever we first started this if we would be living in Oklahoma, I'd be like,
Yeah, on 21 acres.
Right.
Mostly wooded. and
I mean,
but,
just the state of Oklahoma. I mean, that wasn't even on my radar.
But that's a great point, because it's not our will be done. It's
Right.
his will be done.
Yeah.
And we really wanted to be in Arkansas because of the kinds of people that are in Arkansas.
Yeah.
Theologically speaking, and that's where we wanted to be. I wanted to be close enough, to the people that I do know in Arkansas, that if we wanted to get together for Shabbat and hang out, we would do that. That wasn't the Father's will.
Right.
That's not where he planted us.
I mean, if you want to go, we're actually closer here.
Yeah, then we would have been.
Than we would have been in Arkansas.
Well, at that one property, yeah.
At either one of them.
At either one, yeah. So, I think, number one, people ask, how did you end up where you're at? We prayed over it, and we were open to all the possibilities, because it's not our will be done, it's his will be done.
Right.
Number two, we did the best with what we had where we were at during those 3 years. To this day, that backyard in Texas, because we still have the Texas house. My mom lives there, and I live there during the week when I'm working there. To this day, that backyard produces food.
Yeah.
And not a small amount of food either. It produces food. It catches rain. It does all the prepper things.
And I think that's an important point, is almost like approving yourself.
Yes.
That it can, you can handle it. And,
well, and we know what to do and what not to do now on this 21 acres because of the lessons we learned on the third of an acre.
Yeah.
It's not going to taste good. You sure you want this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm saying kind of like, a city person.
Citified people?
Right.
Yeah.
They're like, I want to go, come out of here, my people.
Yep.
I want to go. What are you doing anything with where you're at?
To learn the ways, yeah.
Right. Because like T said, we had a third of an acre. You can do a lot with not a lot.
Yeah. We had 11 raised beds. Oh, here.
Oh.
Low battery, that's okay. We had 11 raised beds. We had about a 400 square foot area that was just open tilled. We had berry plants. We had grapevines. We had a huge compost pile. We had meat rabbits, corn,
green
sunflowers, green beans, meat rabbits, meat chickens, laying hens. And that's just in the backyard.
It was a lot. It was more there than what we have going on here so
Well,
far.
we're brand new here.
Yeah.
We're still getting settled here. So, point being, we built our skill sets there, and I have an agrarian background, and you two, to some extent, have an agrarian background too, at least country. You've been country before in your life.
Oh.
So, you say words like y'all, where there's like 4 syllables and 5 A's. Uh-oh. Say bye, Beebs. Peace out! Peace out!
Okay, are we gonna go eat? I'm hungry.
Say bye. Say bye.
Bye.
Bye. So, pray over your land. Be a good steward of what you have right now and build your skill sets. And let his will be done, not your will be done.
Right.
And then you gotta be open. Wherever you end up is where you end up. And I guess lastly, man, don't sweat the petty stuff and don't pet the sweaty stuff. Just, you're blessed.
You would never get petted.
Well, look at this luxurious mane, baby.
Yeah, they
I know, I
didn't see you
sweat all the
after
time.
cutting grass.
For 4 hours, because that's what it takes to
Yeah.
cut grass in the country. So be open to his will for your life. And the more you get in line with his will for your life, I think the more likely you are to have your come out of her my people scenario manifested in your life. Would you agree?
Yes.
All right. We love you guys. We're going to go eat Chinese food.
Mama.